Mark Twain said, "If we were supposed to talk more than we listen, we would have two mouths and one ear." When we think about communication with other people, we always tend to think that communication is all about ourselves. That we need to make a good first impression, that we need to have a perfect elevator pitch, we need to be good at small talk, etc., etc. However, communication is always 50% about us and 50% about another person. In order to build long-lasting connection, we need to learn how to listen to others. And the ability to listen is important in every sort of communication. For instance, if you're on a date, you need to be able to listen very, very good what another person is saying, because maybe this person is just a freak and has lots of red flags. So you won't waste your time and won't go on another date. Also in business environment, if there's a client and the client wants to buy something, the ability to listen and understand what he truly wants is very important to make a deal. So in this video, I will give you a simple 4-step framework that will improve your listening skills. Now, without further ado, let's roll. So step number 1, remove physical distractions. Have you ever had a friend when you're hanging out together and he's constantly on his phone? Physically you're there, you're spending time together, but at the same time, you're not really talking. Or when you're talking to him, he's not really listening. I mean, he's constantly on his phone watching this freaking TikTok. Phones and social media is the disease of 21st century. People are constantly on social media because they need stimulation. Nowadays, people constantly need those dopamine hits. Instead of being with you, he's there. But in order to start listening better, the first thing that you need to do, you need to get rid of all of the physical distraction. All of those gadgets that can actually distract you from this purpose. So if you need to talk to someone, the first thing that you need to do, you need to put your phone away. If you're talking to someone during Zoom calls, you need to close all of the windows so you'll be fully distraction-free and concentrating on the conversation. The second step, after physical preparation, is mental preparation. Phones and physical gadgets are things that, we can really pretty easily to put away. But what is this thing that's constantly distracting us and we can now just throw it away? Well, this is our head. Well, specifically, our thoughts. Honestly, this is one of the things that I sometimes struggle the most. So usually my workday looks like this. In the morning, something around 9 a.m., I wake up and then I start working. And then something around 1 p.m., I make a break and go to the gym. I go to the gym, spend there 1 hour, and then go back home, eat lunch, and then start working again. So basically the gym time for me is like a short mental break. And I also work with a coach, so he explains to me how to do some exercises, how to do them correctly, etc., etc. So what happens sometimes? After very focused work session, I put everything away, I go to the gym, but my thoughts are still there. Still working, right? I'm thinking about some things, about some projects or whatever. And when I come to the gym, I still think about those things. And I noticed a couple of times where, the coach is talking to me, he explains some exercises, but instead of listening to him, despite the fact that I paid my own money, I'm still there. I'm still thinking about other things. And this is another barrier that prevents you from improving your listening skills. Because yes, you can put your phone away, start paying attention to what the person is saying, but at the same time, if you're bothered with something, right? If your mind is constantly thinking about those things, I don't know, about the girl that suddenly ghosted you and doesn't really talk to you anymore, right? Instead of paying attention to what truly matters in the moment, you're thinking about things that doesn't really matter right now. So the next thing that you need to do, you need to put those thoughts aside. Very simple, right? Acknowledge. Do not try to ignore those thoughts. It's never gonna work, okay? Acknowledge that you have those thoughts and those thoughts are important, okay? If there's like some project or something, okay, write those things down and put them away, okay? You will think about those things later. But right now, before the important conversation, you need to be fully mentally focused. Step number 3, do not interrupt. You know how a lot of people are listening? A lot of people are listening just to start talking about themselves. They ask like, hey, how's your day? And then you start talking and then they listen. And then the first opportunity they have is like, yeah, by the way, about me, blah, 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 blah. They start talking about their day, their life, maybe gives opinion about something that no one asked, or maybe even provide unsolicited advice. You know those people, right? I'm pretty sure you do. It's like they ask you something, you're answering, and then they start giving you some advice. And sometimes this advice is pretty stupid, but when someone is telling you something, you will get way more information out of them if you will just shut up and listen. Do not listen and try to mentally prepare the response. Listen and try to understand what this another person is trying to convey. There's actually a very, very good rule that is called 1 second rule. When the person is talking, after the person said everything he wanted to say, just make a 1 second pause and after that answer. Because sometimes there are situations when the person is talking, makes a small pause and wants to continue. And if you just tend to interrupt, you will use this pause to say something and interrupt him. But the good rule here is that to have this pause for 1 second, and then if he's not continuing, if he's not saying anything, now it's your turn. By doing it this way, first of all, you will learn way more from another person. Because instead of thinking what to answer, what advice to give or your opinion, right, you will be fully focused on getting as much information as possible from that person. And number two, you will make a better impression because everyone wants to interrupt. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. No one wants to listen. And if the person is sharing something and you're actually willing to listen to this person will think about you as you're an awesome listener and would be willing to share more and more with you. And the step number 4 is ask questions. When we're talking about the goal of listening is to get as much information as possible from the person. You know, to get a little bit deeper behind these surface level words. And when you're mentally prepared, your mouth is shut, you're listening very, very actively. The next step would be to ask questions. So the person is talking, and you're asking the question and the person is telling you more, and you get more and more information out of him. If it's a dating setting, the person might open up to you and start talking more about personal things. If this is a business setting, the client might share some important information that will help you to close the deal. If you're a spy and talk to the person who has access to classified information and knows government secrets, being an active listener actually will help you to get this intel. I actually doubt that CIA watches these videos, but anyway. So in order to get more information from the people, you need to start asking them questions. And there are 2 types of questions: open questions and closed questions. Closed questions are questions where the answer will say yes or no. For instance, do you like this movie? Yes, I liked it. No, I don't like that. Well, that's overall is fine. Well, it's better than nothing. But the problem with this type of questions is that the person will say yes or no, and that's it. Conversation is over. And there are open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions where the person has to share more and more information. For instance, instead of asking, hey, did you like this movie or not? You can ask, hey, so what did you like about this movie? The person will have to start sharing more and more and more, and you can ask more and more questions. And basically the person will be talking, the person will be telling you everything, and you'll be listening very, very actively to what he's saying. And if you prepare your physical environment, you mentally will be prepared to listen to another person. You keep your mouth shut, you don't interrupt, and you let another person to keep talking. And you're also asking clarifying, open-ended questions, so the person will be telling you more and more and more. You will be a better listener than 99% of the people. You will get more information from others, and you will achieve your communication goals. And this is it for today. My name is Nikita, and I'll see you in another video.